Great day to you all, and welcome to the X Factors to Success podcast show. I am your host, Ruggiero Fratarcangeli, also known as the G-Man. And welcome everyone. As you all know, I always attempt to bring awesome guests to the show. And I'd like to first remind everyone that the show consists of the X Factors, 5 X Factors: faith, family and friends, fitness, finance, and fun. And today's guest, she's bringing so much energy. She's also releasing a special announcement very shortly. So we have the lovely Shawn Ciociola. She is an author, coach, and a Jack Canfield Success Principles trainer. Shawn is the creator of the lifestyle brand Facets of Living, which is a platform to support total well-being for everyone. She also owns and operates a line handling company in Baltimore, Maryland, which her father began in 2000. It is an honor for Shawn to carry out his legacy. Her purpose is to help you uncover those facets and polish them to a brilliance that radiates all your inner beauty. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest, Shawn Ciociola.
Thank you so much for having me.
How are you doing, Shawn?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I am doing better than great. That's my response. I first of all, I appreciate you taking your time and your busy schedule to come on the show and share with us your experience, your life's journey, and your X factors to your success. And I know that you and I connected a couple of years ago on a very common mentor, trainer, Jack Canfield. And
yes.
It was a pleasure to have met you there. And now here we go, 2 years later. You're on my show.
That's right. That's right. A lot has changed, hasn't it?
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more on your background? I gave a little short overview. What else can you tell us about who you are?
Sure. You know, I have enjoyed a lot of different career changes over the years. I always felt that there was something more. Always. There had to be something more, So I was always looking. And I've enjoyed lots of different career changes, always looking for what brought me success, what brought me happiness and things like that. So I have varied background. I was in the corporate world. I've been in the hair business, the health and wellness business. I even did some direct sales for a while, but it all brought me to where I am now, being an author and a speaker and a coach. And so it's been a great journey, and I got lots of stories, lots of experiences, met many people from all different walks of life, which all adds to where I am now.
Awesome.
It's all part of the journey.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. So, Shawn, I'm looking forward to get know about you. Also, I know you have some announcement to make later on the show, but I always start off with my guests to ask that question because it's in alignment with the X factors to success. So, henceforth, what's your definition of success? Since your journey has been wild and now it's taking you to this crossroads.
Right. My definition of success is happiness. I think when you wake up every day and you know you're in a good place, you know you did your best, and everything's, it's working out. Could things be better? Sure. Do you always want to do a little better or get a little more, be more, do more, have more? Absolutely you do. But when you wake up knowing that you did your best every day and that everything you did, good, bad, or indifferent, got you to where you are, that to me is success, is to be happy and to really appreciate and be grateful for what's in your heart.
I like that. Happiness, appreciate, to be grateful. So what's continuing, Shawn, to be motivated in what you're doing right now?
You know what motivates me? The fact that I can do better.
Wow.
I think we all can do better every single day. And it doesn't have to be big, giant things. It's just, it's that little step each day to do more, to accomplish maybe more, maybe be a little kinder, maybe be a little more aware, whatever that is for you, whatever it looks like on any given day. To me, that's what motivates me. The fact that I know I can still continue to improve and be a better person.
Yeah, I like to associate that with the compound effect. There's a book by Darren Hardy that I always recommend people. It's make that one little difference today that will compound in the next day, week, and month. Again, exactly. The Harvard study or the London study shows that a habit is changed over a period of 60 it's the 66 days, and then you shift. So if you're able to make an improvement to your goals and to be kind and to do better, you'll make a shift,
Yes.
a transformational shift. I like that.
Yes, absolutely.
So you mentioned
May not feel like it in the beginning, but it actually it comes. It definitely comes without question.
Well, it's great. So lately, what are you most grateful for?
You know what? Lately, I'm most grateful for my journal that's coming out.
Ah, I was waiting for that.
There it is.
Okay,
There it is.
so ladies and gentlemen, listen to this here. This
I'm
is
really grateful. It's a long time coming. I wrote it actually the summer after we met, after we did that week training with Jack Canfield in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I actually wrote the journal that summer and just put it aside. You know, it's one of those things that was done. I wanted to get it published and was looking around, you know, at different ways. You know how the publishing industry has changed. There's self-publishing, there's this, there's that. And just didn't do anything about it until I went back to BTS this summer.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did. I was at with Jack in Arizona this summer in August. And when I came home, I said, what am I doing? Why am I sitting on this?
Wow.
So I pulled it out and went right to work on it.
Wow. And just those of us who are listening to the show, folks, BTS stands for Breakthrough to Success. It's one of Jack's Canfield's 5-day seminar, which is totally fantastic. If you had an opportunity to be at his presence, go through this training, it's fantastic. So, Shawn, this gave you that motivational factor to really now spearhead. You set this journal on the bookshelf for a while and came back. And so tell the audience, when is it going to be? So obviously this is a recorded podcast, but when is the actual launch date of this journal?
The launch date is Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. on February 12th on Amazon. That's when it will be available.
Okay, so hear that, folks. And then when you'll be listening to this before and after, you go into Amazon. And the exact title is?
Facets of Living, a daily journal.
Woohoo! Now, I was privileged to get an advanced copy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Shawn. I love it. And I love the creativity here. And I love what you have here. Tell us more about this Facets of Living. Give us more insight what this journal can do for me, can do for those folks who are listening.
Well, earlier we mentioned about the compound effect and that little bit more each day. To me, you know, every morning when we wake up, we get a clean slate. That's how I feel.
Yes. And
how we begin our day sets us up for success or failure. It can make the difference in having a great day or having an okay day. So for me, and it has made the biggest difference in my life, is to get up first thing every single morning. The very first thing is to meditate.
Okay.
Sometimes I meditate for 5 minutes. Sometimes I meditate for 20. Depends on how I feel and how much time I have that day.
Yes.
And then the very next thing I do is pull out a journal and a pen and I write. And it's always different. Some days I make a to-do list. Some days I make a list of things I would like to have. And other days I make a list of some things that I'd like to release. You know, like if you've got some anxiety over something, if you're worried about something. And to me, to write that down and say, okay, here you go. God, universe, whatever you want to say, take care of it. Take it, because I don't want to worry about it. You work it out. Mm-hmm. And it just... I think it makes a big difference. So anyway, to me, to set my day up for success is the meditation and the journaling.
Now, has this habit been one of your habits recently or over time? How did you get to?
I started this, I would say, back in 2014.
Okay.
And, you know, in the beginning, I wasn't always great at it. I would do it for a week or two and then pick it back up in 2 months, you know, or do it for 2 or 3 months and then not do it for 4 weeks or whatever. But I noticed when I do it, I am happier, I am calmer, and things work out better. When I don't do it, I start getting frustrated and, you know, a little irritated and impatient with things. So it has made a huge, huge difference in my life.
So I see that in your journal there, mindful mantras. Now, part of your meditation, do you prepare a mantra Share with us, what can a mantra do for us? What does it do for us, our subconscious and conscious mind?
Mantra to me really helps with self-confidence and knowing your self-worth. You know, those thoughts that run through our heads aren't always serving us. But the great news is we have the power to change our thoughts. So when a negative thought comes to mind, you can say, hey, cancel that one and think of something that you prefer. That's what a mantra is to me. An affirmation, kind of the same thing, you know?
Okay.
If I got something going on, or if maybe have a negative conversation with someone, you know, you can change those thoughts. You can say, I'm not going to let this get to me. You know, you can protect yourself. You know, I am always safe and protected. If you're going into a situation where there's some fear, whatever you say makes a huge difference. And that is why a mantra on a daily basis, maybe you're having a tough time. You say, you know what, I can get through this day and I'm going to do it.
So Shawn,
I'm going to be strong.
So Shawn, is it putting like a shield around you, or a blanket around you that will protect you from the negative vibration out there?
You know, I do that too. I'd have to tell you something. I live with my mom. She's 86, and every day when I leave the house,
God bless her.
I thank you. I picture 4 angels on all 4 corners of the roof.
Wow.
I picture 4 angels on all 4 corners of my car. Yes, I do.
I love it. I know that we have a common thing here. I carry a guardian angel token in my pocket at all times.
Yeah.
And about 2013, 2014, I really got into the angels. And those of us like, oh, angels? Okay, now. But seriously, what was her name? I went to a Dr. Wayne Dyer's Can Do It conference in Manhattan back in 2013. Her name is Doreen Virtue. She's a great author about angels, Angel Michael, Angel Raphael, and Gabrielle. Now, you just sparked an idea. Those 4 angels, is that where you got your inspiration from? And how did you get that inspiration, understanding the power of angels? Because many of us out there may not know that we have our own angels.
You know what? I'm going to tell you a story. When I was about 20 years old, my grandmother had a cousin who was a nun. And my mother had her over for dinner. And during the course of the conversation, she said something about her guardian angel. And she said the guardian angel's name. I looked at her and I said, how do you know your guardian angel's name? And she said, you ask. And I said, well, when do you ask? She said, every night before you fall asleep, I want you to ask him or her to please tell you their name. So every night for 7 nights, I went to sleep and I asked my guardian angel to please tell me your name. And every morning I woke up and there was nothing. Oh. On the 7th morning, I woke up and I said to myself, Michael still didn't tell me his name. And I went, whoa. Whoa.
There you go.
So I've always known that Michael is my guardian angel.
That's awesome. Well, I have to share with you, mine, Michael, is as well, Michelangelo. You know, in my last name is Fratarcangeli, right? It means brothers of the archangel, brother of the archangel. And I always think that something spiritual or an angel that's guiding me in my journey of life as of today. So I like the fact that you talk about gratitude. You talk about, again, every day, it's make it a better day and create happiness. In this journal that you're launching off on the 12th of February at 10 a.m. on Amazon, you talk about mindful mantra, action list. Talk about how do you take actions? What are certain things that you can share with the audience as far as what will propel me in the morning, afternoon, at night? How do I go about it to taking those action? What are the things that you also instruct and teach your clients?
Mm-hmm. I encourage people to make a list of your goals.
Okay.
And there's different areas. We can have goals for our health. We can have goals for our relationships, our finances, and we can have goals for business, legacy, fun, travel. We can have goals for so many different things. And then you have to boil it down to, okay, what are the most important goals? Pick maybe 2 or 3. And what can I do today to get me closer to that goal? So I encourage people now, write down, you have these 3 goals here.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody wants to get healthier this year. That's a common one,
Yeah.
especially at the beginning of the year.
What happens to those resolutions?
That's right. There you go. Hey, that's where those affirmations come in and those mantras, right?
Okay.
And this whole self-care thing, because there's a section for that in the journal you'll see daily. But what I tell people to do is to pick a couple of goals and then write down what's going to get me closer. Maybe if I make some extra phone calls today, maybe I need to drink water today. Maybe I need to walk an extra mile, whatever it is that's going to get you to those goals. That's what the 5 things I want you to write on your to-do list.
Okay. I like that. So folks, you hear that? Are you writing your goals? You can't just say them and put them in top of your head. You have to be written. And one of the things also I instruct in my workshops, we do a goal setting workshop, and we have pick 10, and then from 10 go to 5, and 5 go to 3. And what's the number one goal that you make a difference at? If you take one major goal and apply it every day, it's like laser focus, right? And then make that shift, and you'll see over a period of time. It could be 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, but you'll see a change in there. So I like the fact that if you're creating the habit, and your journal here, as I look through it, does have a roadmap. So it's pretty simple, but yet it's structured here.
It is. Do you know what? It's I wanted to share this with you. It was a wonderful compliment. My the person who did all the artwork and actually put the journal together for me said to me, Shawn, I can't wait to buy this. And I said, really? And she said, I'm not just going to get one for myself. I'm going to get one for my husband. She said, I have created many journals. She said, and I love yours because it's not overwhelming. It's not going to take me an hour every morning. It's something that I can do within a reasonable amount of time and still work on my goals, work on myself, and get it done.
I love it. And I could see that. And if you would say to someone, hey, follow this journal here, how much time would you say you have to allocate in general? I know it could be different for many people. What would you say?
You know what? I would tell people to take anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes in the morning.
Okay, invest.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could get done in 10 minutes. And if you want to really sit there, and like you said, there's that focus thing, right? There's that focus thing. We're not going to rush through this morning. We're going to sit here and we're really going to think about this. What do we really want? What do we really need today? What do we really need to focus on today? You know, maybe somebody one day is all they can think of is that laundry is now climbing up the walls.
I have to go shopping. I have to go to my kids'
there's
events.
Absolutely no food in the house.
Right.
You know, there's things like that. And do you need to take care of that? Yes, you do. But you can still do something to get you closer to those goals.
I like to recognize the fact to everyone, even in my training, we have 168 hours in a week. That's 24 hours times 7. Can you invest in yourself 10, 15, 30 minutes a day?
Absolutely.
What percentage of that time is a total time of your day to become a better version of yourself? And this is what you're saying. And I see that now. Here's the flip side. Shawn, I have no time. I have no time. You have no idea. I get up off the bed. I got to take the kid, prepare lunch for the kids, and take them to school. How do you answer that? I mean, there's people also ask me, "Hey, Ruggiero, Ari G, you know, I got no time for this stuff."
Right. I say you have no time not to do it. Because it truly changes your life. If you are so stressed and you have so much on your plate that you cannot take time for yourself, 10 minutes, 20 minutes every morning, that is a problem, because the best thing you will ever work on is you. When you work on yourself, when you get rid of the muck and all the other junk that we've collected over the years and get down to the basics and see that self-worth and know that we all have gifts to share. You cannot not take the time. You have to take that time. We have to know that the rest of our life can be the best of our life. We have to believe that the best is yet to come, and we get a choice. And we also have inside of us already whatever it takes to make that
we
so.
were born with certain talents and gifts and skills, and it's up to us to give back to the universe, give back to our community, give back to the world that what we have given. Now, with all the crap that goes on, all the crap on social media and in the news and the TV, we get bombarded, Shawn. I see it also as well. You're saying that if we able to focus our attention and have a structure, a process like the Facets of Living on your journal here, to get some clarity of direction. Now, how about tying in with purpose? This is where I'm getting at, because many of us, we think we know what we need to do, but we don't know. It's a cloud. Can you talk about purpose, fulfilling a purpose, having clarity of purpose?
Yes, I have some people that say, well, I don't know what I want. Well, then start with what you don't want. If you don't know what you do want, start with what you don't want. Let's see, we don't want to be sick, right?
Right.
We don't want to be unhealthy. We don't want to be broke.
Right.
We don't want to be lonely. We don't want to be sad. So what is the opposite? But here's the thing. You know what? It's like, I think of what Jack Canfield shared with us. The idea for Chicken Soup for the Soul, which is a $1 billion brand.
It's amazing.
Came during meditation. So tell me you don't have time to meditate. We have to take care of us because nobody else is going to do it. We do. We should be our priority. And you know, when you make yourself the priority, you automatically include your family. It flows over to your family, to your loved ones, to your friends, to your social circle, to your business associates.
Sure.
It does.
So I associate that with my platform, the X Factors to Success, the circle of F's. You have the fate, family and friends, fitness, broken down to physical fitness, how you treat your body, the food that we eat, how we nourish ourselves, and the spiritual fitness, the finance, having our balance and our proper finances in order for us to live in this Western world, and fun. We have to be social time, have fun with our family, our friends, and be healthy in that state there. So when you look at your journey, can you share with us a mistake that you experienced, or a mistake or failure? I hate to use the word failure, but what did you learn from? If you could share with us one particular event in your life that shifted your thinking. Now, someone's listening to the show. Well, he or she's 20 years old, 22, goes, well, I don't have all the experience that you have. Can you give us some insight of your journey of tribulations that you came across that you learned from?
You know what? We all make mistakes. I'm sure I made more than my share. But I tell people that I feel that at the time, I made the best decision with the knowledge I had then. So we can't hold on to those mistakes. We have to let them go. They were a learning experience. But I will tell you, I think my biggest lesson when it comes to mistakes, whenever I did not listen to my intuition.
Intuition, there's that word again.
Whenever I didn't listen to that little voice that said, whatever, is what I regret the most.
Okay.
That's what I regret the most. When you get that gut feeling about a situation or someone, or there's this little voice that says, warning,
right.
And whenever I ignored that, it is when it cost me. So follow your intuition, listen to that little voice. It's there for a reason. It's there to protect you.
So, Shawn, if I begin to meditate, which I do, and I do my 5 minutes or 15 or 20, depending on how my time, but at least I put in some time in it. Would you say I have more clarity of my intuition? Does that bring more mindfulness?
Absolutely. Much more mindfulness. Yes. Praying is asking, but meditation is listening.
I love that.
Meditation is sitting there and clearing your mind and say, okay, come on, give me the answers. And they come. They may not come in that moment, but they come, the answers show up. And yes, I do believe that meditation strengthens our intuition. Definitely.
I'll share with you and the audience one thing that I just experienced back in December. I spent 1 week at a monastery with the monks, a whole week, and there were 46 monks at this abbey. And what I learned, you hit the nail on the head. I began to listen to silence. I began to listen to the voice within.
Yes.
I began to acknowledge the time that goes by. But when you start being mindful of that heartbeat and your breath, it brings life to a whole new meaning. It took me like the third day to really get myself calm, cool, in a trance, and I start listening to the outside world, walking through the park, walking through the trees into the valley. Listen to trees. Some of you might think, listening to trees? Yes. When was the last time you listen to trees on birds around you? It's just amazing. There's harmony and music all around us. And for me, silence now is becoming a wonderful gift of acknowledgement and being mindful of that. You know, my prayers are in line, but being in silence speaks louder than words. So
yes, it does.
You sharing.
Silence is a gift, isn't it? Because all the noise from the world, the TV's on, the news is on, there's people everywhere, and it's just so much going on. It really is. It's just noise, you know. Sometimes it's just mindless chatter, and it's just there. It's a distraction.
So we have to filter. Yeah, we have to filter that out, right, Shawn? We have to know how to filter that out.
Filter that out. So. Yeah, get rid of that stuff.
So, Shawn, I love where this is going. You are sharing some great insights, and I hope folks out there who are listening up right now, if you're in your car, you're sitting down in your office, you're doing a workout in the morning, and you listen to Shawn here, and you're thinking about your own experience. Well, folks, this is reality. That's why I'm bringing all these different guests on the show, because we all bring a different twist to our experience and sharing. So, Shawn, I'm sure you have some role models in your journey of life, and they change also as well. They change for me. But would you share with us maybe your top 3 role models in your life's journey, maybe in the past or current?
Well, definitely Jack Canfield is one of mine as well, because he's living proof. He's the real deal, you know, and he's accessible to all of us.
Sweet guy.
And he shares from the heart. I mean, everything. There's no holding back. So I love that about him. I think also my dad was a huge role model for me, because he was a hardworking man. He loved his family. He loved his faith. And you know what? My dad taught me so much, but he taught me one thing. He actually lived what he believed. He never said a bad word about anybody.
Wow.
And he never held any grudges. And he was all forgiving. And I used to sometimes think, I would even ask him sometimes, say, how can
I know, especially for an Italian tradition.
How can you
how can you
just say, oh, well, because sometimes we would have discussions about something that happened that someone did that was terrible. And he would shrug his shoulders and say, what are you going to do?
Oh.
You can't change them. They did what they did. You can't let it bother you.
Well,
you have to go on.
Well, we need more people like your dad in this universe. Forgiveness, that's key. Forgiving,
it is key.
Forgiveness.
It is key. And you know what? I like all stories. One of my favorite books, one of my top 3 favorite books, is a book called 3 Feet from Gold by Sharon Lecter. Have you ever read it?
Yeah, of course. Yes, indeed. That's an extract of the Think and Grow Rich, right? Chapter, right?
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, because it's a book full of stories of people who overcame and went on to do great things with their lives. And these were all people who were told, you'll never be anything, you'll never do anything, you'll never have money, you'll never go anywhere, you're dumb, or, whatever it was. And I love that book. And I think all the people in that book that overcame those kind of odds are role models to me.
Sorry. So share with us.
I like Scarlett O'Hara too.
Okay.
Because Scarlett said, you know what? I'm not going to let this bother me. I'll think about it tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, here you go. Let it go. Let it go, right?
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Like the, what was the movie, the Disney movie? Let it go, right?
Oh, yeah, Frozen.
Frozen.
Yes.
There you go. I
Let
remember.
it go.
I say I have 4 children of my own. I know that my daughter watched Frozen when it first came out years ago. And it was like over and over and over. Let it go. But there's a message there.
There is a message.
Do not keep it inside you. You have to let it go. Otherwise, it fests inside our hearts and soul, and our behavior will become bitter. And you have any other books that you want to share with us that you recommend?
Yes.
That there?
Sure, I have 2 other books. There was a book that I read years ago, also by Napoleon Hill. It's called Outwitting the Devil.
Oh yeah. Tell us more
It's a
about that one.
Napoleon Hill book.
Okay.
I remember reading Outwitting the Devil, and I could not put it down. I just couldn't put it down. I didn't want to go to sleep. I didn't want to eat. I just wanted to finish this book. And I recommended it to a friend of mine one day, and she called me up, and it was 9 o'clock at night. And she said, I want you to know that I am still in my pajamas from last night because I cannot put this book down.
Isn't that amazing?
And I did not get dressed today. All I have done is read and make a cup of tea and grab something to eat. It is an amazing book. It is Napoleon Hill having an interview with the devil. And he got to ask the devil anything he wanted, and the agreement was the devil could not lie. I don't remember what the agreement was right now. It's been a while since I read it, but the devil could not lie. He had to tell the truth.
It's like also facing our own self. Sometimes we're afraid, the fear of facing ourselves. We put it to the side, What happens? You start putting everything under the rugs, right? And it kind of piles up. These are great books that gives us some insight. And amazing how if a good book is resonating with you, you can't put it down. You cannot put it down. It's totally amazing. So Shawn, you have also, I believe you also co-wrote a book, right? You want to share with us?
I did. I co-authored a book called Women Who Inspire. That came out in September of 2017. It's 20 stories of people who have overcome things, certain women in their journey of something that happened in their lives that made them the person they are today. And it's a great book. It hit #1 on Amazon on launch day.
All right.
And thank you. And it's wonderful because, when you write books and share your stories, it opens doors.
So is there so besides now you have February 12th, so those of you listening right now, on the 12th, you have this Facets of Living, which is launching off 10 a.m., right? Okay.
Yes.
Is there any other breakthrough grow that you are planning for 2019? So how are you integrating this journal into your other work that you're doing?
Well, I'm going to release another book in the spring.
Wow.
I wrote another book that summer when I did the journal. And again, I sat on it, not knowing how to publish it, if I wanted to self-publish, if I wanted to hire somebody.
Right.
And I actually spoke to Jack about it when I was in Arizona this summer. And he said, Shawn, you cannot sit on that. You must get that out there. It's such a huge topic in this world today. And it is all that I learned living with elderly parents. I live with my dad, and we were together all the time. I'm so grateful for all of that. But I learned a lot. My dad wasn't necessarily sick, but he was in his 90s. So, he was slowing down. He never, not mentally, which I'm very grateful for. But, he had arthritis in his hands and in his knee, and it was hard for him to get up and down the steps. So he needed help. So my dad and I spent a ton of time together. And I write all about that. The guide is going to be tips from A to Z.
Okay.
And it's not just tips for what to do and how to handle it, like medications, pharmacists, when you go to the hospital, when you have to go to therapy, all of these things. But it's also self-care tips. Because you do at times when you're with someone who needs you, you forget all about you. You do, and you can't pour from an empty cup. So you have to remember to.
I like that. You can't pour in an empty cup. I love that. I love that.
You have to remember to walk outside and take a deep breath and let it go. And let me tell you something.
Yep.
Meditation during the times when my father was ill is what got me through.
Wow.
Meditation.
Well,
I
folks,
give all the credit to God and meditation.
I believe. Beautiful. I mean, see, folks, you hear that? It's a common theme here. There's the benefit of meditating and spending time in silence to get you more clear, concise, and purposeful in your daily life's journey. And so your dad has a legacy, and you continue on the legacy of your dad. I could see, you and I right now are going through this Zoom call right now, but you're glowing with greatness and appreciation, Shawn. And I know that he's here. I could just feel his energy right now. And like you said, the angels. He's one of your angels looking over you. So that's awesome. Good story. I appreciate you sharing these close stories that mean a lot to you in your teachings and in your work that you're doing out there and making a difference, Shawn. So I know we have a few more questions before we wrap up this podcast show. And again, I want to thank you so much for being so upfront and sincere and loving, Shawn. I'd like to ask you the following. If this is a question I ask this to every guest, and it has been asked to me years ago. If you were conducting this interview, this podcast, what one question would you ask yourself? It's a powerful question. I always dwell on that, and it's a question I have a challenge with. What question would you ask yourself?
Question I would ask me is, what is your one tip? If you could only give one, what would that be? And I'm going to tell you, that is to take 100% responsibility for your life, for where you are,
right,
and where you're going. It's not up to anyone else, and it's no one else's fault. We are where we are by the choices that we have made, and we have the power to make it better at any given moment. So take 100% responsibility.
That's a key principle that's everyone in the world of personal development that makes it a point that to be focused on. Because if we don't take responsibility of the decisions that we make and how we react to, those outcomes will reflect upon how we behave, how we think, our principles and values. So I am totally in agreement with your with that question to be asking yourself. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us and to our audience. So wow, so much time has gone by so fast. It's amazing how when you're in synchronization, let's just say, Shawn, 150 years from now, and all the books that you've written, the journals and the co-authoring and the essays and everything else, let's say those things disappear.
Okay.
All right? And
Okay.
what legacy or imprint that you want to leave behind that will make a difference in future generations to come?
You know, I'm going to go back to Women Who Inspire. The title of my chapter in there is "It is in giving that we receive."
It isn't given that we receive. Okay.
That's what I want and that's what I want it to be. I want to give, to serve, to give whether it's support, whether it's to shine my light, to give other people permission to shine theirs, whether it's sharing the steps to do better, be better in any area of your life, and to know that you have whatever it takes. I want people to say, you know what? She was right. She was right. I didn't have to be stuck, and I could change, and I could make a difference, and I could do better.
I love it.
That's what I would like. Not that I need you people to say that I'm right, and that's not what I mean.
Okay, no.
I don't.
Gotcha.
I mean it to say, wow, yes, that worked.
Beautiful.
It worked.
Beautiful.
It worked for her, and it worked for me too.
Awesome. You know, we need more people like yourself that needs to think about not just but to give. Like you said, like, when you give, it comes back to you with just 10 times over. That's part of the universe, right? The law of reciprocity, the law of cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the law of attraction. We all heard about that back in 10, 12 years ago of the movie of the Secret. But we have to put things into action. You have to be clear in your goals, visualize and act as if, and really come from the soul. It comes straight from the soul, the loving soul, to give to love. So, Shawn, where can the audience find you? And I'll put this all in the show notes, but where can we find you, and so they can send you, maybe contact you, email you, and so on and so forth?
You can go to my website. It's www.facetsofliving.com.
Okay.
And you can also find me on Facebook at Facets of Living.
Super duper. I'm sure, folks, you're going to capture that. I'll put those in the show notes for you, so you're able to go ahead and contact Shawn and reach out to her. And again, how about that book, the journal again? When is it coming out?
Tuesday, February 12th, 10 a.m. on Amazon. It's Facets of Living, a daily journal. It's 93 days in there.
Okay.
Yes, 93 days. And believe me, like you said, how many days does it take to create a habit?
The 60,
30.
yeah.
You've got, or 60, depending.
Yeah.
You've got 93 days here to create this habit.
I love it, Shawn. So I know I have my copy here, so I'm going to make a change of habit now. So I'm going to apply it and internalize it, and we'll touch base offline on this here. So thank you so much. So folks, don't forget February 12th, 10 a.m. That's 10 a.m. Is that East Coast time?
East Coast time, yes. 10 a.m. East Coast time on Amazon.
Okay, so folks, if you listen to this podcast after the 12th, there, it's going to be on there. So go ahead and grab a copy and hurry up, and then also write some reviews. Shawn, I'm sure she'll appreciate it also, and some feedback and some. Again, make it happen. She wants to. And also, what was the other book also?
Women Who Inspire. That was the book that came out last year. My journal, my caregiving journal, isn't that far title-wise yet. So I will be sure to make an announcement when that gets closer.
So maybe in the future I could have you back on the show again.
That would be awesome.
Talk about beautiful. Any last comments or inspiring encouragements before we close and say farewell? Yeah, it's all yours.
Mm-hmm. Well, we talked about taking 100% responsibility for
Yeah.
where you are. I think we mentioned that the best project you'll ever work on is yourself. And stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Take care of you. Take care of everything that has to be done for you. Take care of your meditation, your journaling, your clarity. You know, it brings about being more authentic and living life from a different place. No. Be so strong that nothing anybody says or does to you can affect you or stop you or slow you down.
Wow. Well, Shawn, that is so powerful and so deep into what you're sharing here today. So thank you so much for those inspiring encouragements. And for the audience out there, don't forget, reach out to Shawn and rate, review her journal, grab a copy, and just tell her that you listen to the X Factors to Success podcast show, right?
Yes,
and
I will.
and this show here, folks, share the show. If you know someone who's in need and it could resonate with the words and the inspiration and insights of Shawn here, maybe they need to hear this. Sometimes there are certain guests that can resonate with, and if this can be one that you can share with your family and friends. Don't forget, rate, review, and share. The fact that my platform here, folks, is to bring guests that can inspire. It's just everyday folks. Sometimes you say, well, that individual, the Tony Robbins and the Gary Vaynerchuk and the Brian Tracy, may be too hard to reach and so on and so forth. But this is Shawn Ciociola. She has a great story to tell, and she's really inspiring, and I look forward to spending more time and knowing more about you. So, Shawn, I want to thank you so much from deep down in my heart with total love and gratitude. You're a beautiful person, inside and out. May God bless you and all the work that you do, that you can inspire and empower others. So,
Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here with you. I so appreciate you asking me to come on and share my story. And I look forward to working with you again.
it'll be a pleasure. So folks, you've been listening to the X Factors to Success podcast show with Shawn Ciociola and Ruggiero Fratarcangeli, the G-Man here. Stay tuned for future guests on our show. And once again, you could go to www.xfactors2success. That is the number 2success.com. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and give us a shout out, rate, review, and like us on the Facebook or anywhere that you find us. So once again, live with purpose, passion, and make a difference. Until next time, ciao.